Aerofit is one of the things that are really like something like a really basic that you can measure and which you can improve.
Yeah.
So we recently bought it and we are testing it. Actually, great that we are here in the Biohacking Summit that we can ask you like a few questions about actually Aerofit is.
So Aerofit is a respiratory muscle trainer. So what does that mean? It's a device that's training your lung muscles and putting load and resistance on your lung muscles. And we incorporate a lot of breath work into the way we train as well. But a good way I like to describe what it does and how it works is if you go to the gym and you work out your biceps and you get stronger, you might get a personal trainer, you can lift heavier weights. So we're doing all of that with our device and for your breathing muscles. So our device, of course, connects to an app. It has changing resistance for breathing in and breathing out. But the app is the really big deal with Aerofit and what sets it apart because it allows the person to get feedback and motivation as well. Because breathwork's great and we know the benefits of it. But once you've done a breathwork course and you go home, how do you keep motivated? How do you know if you're even improving or doing the breathwork sessions correctly and the techniques correctly? And while Aerofit can't solve all those problems, it can give you really real live feedback. We can take a really good measurement of where your current lung function is, so we can check your respiratory kind of volume, we call it your accessible lung capacity, and then the pressures you're able to generate as you breathe in and out. And that gives us a really good overall picture of your current lung function, and then based on that we can really do a customized training session to hopefully improve that over time. And of course Aerofit is its own exercise, so you sit there, you don't do it while you're doing anything else, 5 to 10 minutes a day. Because by luck, these respiratory muscles respond really quickly and powerfully to load and targeted training. And then usually, just like any other muscle training, 4 to 6 weeks, you'll see, hopefully, large improvement. And in our 100,000 users, we've had about a 20% increase on average of those kind of 3 values I spoke about.
Yeah, I also really like that the app is really like user-friendly. For example, every day you can do the lung test to see where your performance is, and you can see also how with Aerofit is increasing. Or even, for example, sometimes when there is some heavy day for my lungs, for example, when there is like when I'm at the office with lots of pollution, I feel that with the Aerofit, I see that really like, for example, a slight decrease that my organism get really like a heavy day, for example, and I can improve it with the different breathworks that are also inside your application. But you have also different kind of types of Aerofit, if I'm not mistaken.
We do, yeah. So we've got the Airofit Pro 2, which is our core or hero product, and that is the pro breathing system that has the connection and everything else about the device, the resistance and the feedback and the customization. We also have the Aerofit Active, which is a kind of a lower price option that doesn't have any connectivity, but we do have app guidance. No connectivity, but it will at least talk you through different things with a similar piece of hardware. We used to have the Pro 1 device, but we've phased that out now because the Pro 2 just has a much better pressure sensor on it, a lot more accurate, and some quality of life features like water-resistant e-unit. Not waterproof, but water-resistant. Please keep your e-unit as dry as you can.
And do you actually know how the idea of Aerofit started, or what the roots are?
I do, yes. So we're a Danish company. Our founder was a Danish guy who bought the rights off a Danish health insurance company called Ambu. But he bought them because he thought it was an interesting concept, but he was also a classically trained singer. So that's actually where Aerofit started. Like, I think this can benefit in the music industry and classical singers. So he used that and after some prototyping, came up with something close to what the Pro looks like.
The breath is really important for the singing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, and after a while, he gave it to his sons, and they were really good swimmers, and they did really well at their champs, and he thought, okay, maybe this can be sport. So that's when it kind of changed the company, and our biggest aspect is still sport, but we always say if it can give percentage gains to some Olympic athlete, imagine what it does for a normal, an average person compared to their population, or someone who's got long COVID and has not been exercising. So that's kind of how it started, and this is how it's expanded to where we kind of are today after 4 years and millions of lung tests.
At the end, consistency is really the key of all of the muscles that you have. The lungs are the same, so you should keep the consistency with the application, with the device as such to actually train it. is there like something, what's next for Aerofit? Do you already have like something like the new...
A little bit. I can't say too much about it, but we know that our price point can be a barrier for people. But the reason we do have that price point is because we opted to not have a subscription on our kind of hero product, the Pro. But what we are looking into doing is a middle price point product. Maybe there'll be a subscription as part of that or not, we're not sure yet. But we are looking for ways to have a more maybe financially accessible product that still has that data tracking and connectivity. It's early days now, but I think the goal is to try and look for that, and then maybe more long-term focus more into the health space. We know Aerofit and respiratory muscle training can help with asthma and long COVID, COPD, and even blood pressure. We're not a fully medical product at all, but we'd maybe like to become one because we know and the benefits are there and the research is there.
Who's your target group then?
Who's our target group? At the moment, it can be messy because there are so many benefits to Aerofit. It's so easy to rabbit hole and go, okay, it can help this, it can help this, and help this. But in a functional way, day to day, it's still the sport crowd is our biggest kind of market because especially the triathlete sports, swimming, cycling, and running. Lots of other sports too, but we're starting to really find a lot more in the space we're in right now with biohackers and longevity and focusing on well-being type aspects like sleep, recovery, relaxation, but then also the health stuff. We've got to be careful around that because as I said, we're not a full medical product, but we know it can help. We know lots of our users use it to assist with symptoms of asthma and other things like that.
Are you also thinking about some collaborations with other companies?
We are definitely looking into ways that we can maybe do an integration with some data tracking apps, whether it's a Garmin, a Polar, Strava, because one thing we find really curious at Aerofit is that we've got all these apps these days and all this tracking and all this, we're counting steps, sleep scores, blood pressure, body battery, all these things, but we do not track breath. We don't track breath. We don't, there's this kind of missing hole in this kind of big view of health. And if we can just be another aspect to give a doctor, a practitioner, or someone who's just trying to be more aware of their health a fuller picture, then that'd be cool, and that's what we'd like to look at doing.
And it's also like the reason, it's like the immune system is based on the lungs, and it's like they're all of the things. Like your life starts with the lungs and ends with the lungs. It's like
Correct.
something that there is a gray zone on the market. So like when I was actually looking for, I wanted to just like know what is my level of the lungs at the beginning, and then I was like, okay, I will just know what is the level of my lungs, but then I will not know what to do with it. So like Aerofit is combining both the measure of it, but also like how you can improve and train to make it better.
Yeah, you've summed it up perfectly. That's I think in a simple way, it's easy to talk a lot, but you're absolutely right. In a simple way, we're just measuring and we're tracking, finding ways to help you improve.
What would be the number one reason why buy Aerofit?
The number one reason why buy Aerofit? Because when's the last time you've thought about if you're breathing healthy, and if you have thought that, and you're maybe involved in any breath work or you've taken that path, did you stick to it? What were the reasons you didn't stick to it? Probably because you weren't motivated, you didn't have any idea if you're improving or not. It's the same reason, if you don't go for a run and you want to feel more healthy. So it's just another aspect and another way to improve your health, and it's a pretty low intervention, 5 to 10 minutes a day. And if it doesn't work, then but from all the evidence we have, we see that it works as long as you're diligent and you do it every day, just like any other type of muscle training.
How long are you working for the company?
I've been here just over a year.
Oh wow, you have extensive knowledge about the product.
Yeah. I've got a background in exercise physiology, so I'm involved with some of the research and some of the research things we have going around the world. In lots of different kind of health-focused areas. Some cancer rehabilitation, post-op care. We just had one done on long COVID from Ulm University in Germany. So it's really fascinating for me to see what feels like this little hole that hasn't really been looked at properly yet, and we can maybe fill it. Yeah.
That's great. I think that you motivated us to use the Aerofit tonight for sure, because
I hope so.
Is the key. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much. It's really lovely to see you.